This is my AS media evaluation of my thriller opening. In our thriller opening, we followed guidelines of traditional thrillers such as The Usual Suspects, a famous thriller film with a good opening. This was effective because it was easy to base it on. We lingered from the traditional thriller opening by having paranormal effects of the antagonist disappearing, the protagonist turned around, which went against the thriller opening. Throughout the film, we used a tripod so that all the camera shots were steady throughout the film, and in one shot there is the protagonist running along into the darkness, and we managed to use the tripod to steady it so it wouldn't fade away. Filming in the dark, it was difficult to set the white balance, but we managed to achieve it well by making shots clear. Although, when filming in the graveyard, it was proven difficult to place the tripod on the ground as it was uneven, meaning we had to resort to uneven, a shaky gesture, which didn't work out well as it looks a bit messy. In our film, we always position the main character with shots of extreme close-up or close-up. So his face was like this or like this. This worked quite effectively as you could always see his emotions, and because he was distraught about losing his mother, it added to the feel of the film. We always kept our protagonist in the shot of the camera. An example is when we had the subject running in the middle of the bridge. We kept him in the centre shot, which was effective as you could see, making happy memories of him. The lighting, which was from a distance, and him running, so he was well lit. Despite good attention to the framing in the graveyard scenes and the bridge scene, in our last scene in the school, we managed to cut off the main character's head due to bad framing. If we were to do this again, we'd make sure he was definitely centred, but we managed to do it in all our other shots. To resolve this, we managed to follow him up as he was walking, which gave his whole body in. I guess this made this up for a bit. A variety of shot sizes were mainly extreme close-up to a close-up, but we occasionally used mid-shot to an extreme close-up when appropriate. We also used extreme close-ups at the beginning of our film to show the full emotion of our protagonist, as this is when the film is most intense, as shown by the music and the extreme close-up of his face. Although the length of time it took us to film these different shot sizes, he never knew why she did it or who did it. Did not go as well, considering we had to film in the darkness, so we had to constantly check if the white balance was right or if we had the correct lighting so we could see the facial expressions, especially when we did an extreme close-up to a close-up. We paid extreme detail to makeup as we researched how to make a scar. In our film, the antagonist has a massive scar over his right cheek of his face, I think. This worked really well as he looked a lot scarier than he was meant to and gave him a bit more mystery on him. Our lighting went really well as well, even though we thought it wouldn't go too well as we filmed in the dark. We managed to get some really clear shots of the main character when he was on the bridge, which is where the darkness is the most emphasised, but we managed to capture his facial expressions as well as with the protagonist when he's following him. Our use of background went really well because we decided to film in a graveyard, which linked to the protagonist's history of his mother dying, so it gives it a bit of an air of mystery, which links to the thriller genre. Although on mise en scène we didn't focus on clothing as it was quite last minute as our original plans changed, so our protagonist and antagonist just wore basic clothes, what they were wearing in the day. Although they were dark, it wasn't really the look we were trying to go for, as initially we planned for them to wear a cape. We edited the third location of the school to follow the graveyard scene, so it can make the audience realise the jump in time and the change of location. This worked quite well, but it wasn't clear enough why they moved location. Although we've faced problems with our editing, our opening was not long enough and had to sidetrack from our initial idea, so we had to place a filler end scene, which may not have made sense as the character went from the graveyard to walking through the school halls. It may not have been made clear because the voiceover was really quiet, and we could have edited like a screen saying later in the day, and the voiceover was too quiet, which didn't really help. The opening title transitioned well from the first scene of the main character running away into the darkness and being lit into the title, which was lit like the character. On the other hand, our transition from the graveyard to the school was not clear enough because it was meant to look like a dream, we wanted to make the audience think, oh, what has happened, but it didn't really work out, so we could have used a text to say the time had moved on, or emphasise that it was a dream by using different types of editing. We used Foleys in our film, and it fitted the right moment at the right time really well. So when Tom banged on the wall, it made a really good echoing sound, so you could emphasise his frustration. We also had a really good background song at the opening, at the beginning of our thriller opening, and it emphasised the tension and the emotion which was going on by varying the pitch and making it higher in certain points and lower when there was talking going on. Making happy memories of him. Although, as I've already said, our voiceover was way too quiet, so you couldn't hear what the voiceover was saying, and this was a key part of our thriller opening, as it was just telling what was going on and giving a bit more background information. So I think people didn't actually realise what was going on with the background noise. So this is my thriller opening evaluation. Thank you for watching.